Hi guys! Today I'm sitting on my floor, just talking about random stuff. Not so random actually. As you can see by the topic of this video, I actually have a topic to discuss today with you. But just like sitting on the floor, I think it makes me a little bit more philosophic or raggedy. I don't know. But today I would like to discuss with you the saying that I have been seeing in a lot of places online, and I have been saying this sentence for like many years right now, and it always baffled me. So the saying and the idea goes that freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. And as a person who grew up in Russia, who has been born in Russia, lived my whole life in Russia, except for 1 year when I lived in China, but I'm sorry, like not much better. Um, I think it's a totally like incorrect saying. But to discuss it, I think that we should discuss the consequences from whom. So if we're talking about people, just like you and me, regular people, it's okay. I think that yes, freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. If you talk shit, you will get hit. That's like natural response. Although I don't agree with that response. I don't think that like if a person says something that you disagree with, you should hit them. You should like go violent against them. I think it's improper, uncivilized, and I think that we should be able to discuss our differences and to come to a peaceful solution. But sometimes I know and I understand our emotions take, I don't know, they overpower us basically, and we might get violent. I never get violent. I never fought people like with my fists or whatever. Never actually. I'm not like that. I'm not. But some people are like that. That's okay. And yeah, in that case, in case of just like people discussing, talking, yes, like you might get consequences for your words. Once again, you might get hit, you might get cast out, you might, I don't know, get rumors spread around about you. And those are like, to be honest, once again, neither of these things are civilized or proper. So it would be perfect if people would restrain themselves from acting like that. But we're all people and we all do dumb shit sometimes. And still, once again, if you don't like what other people said, and if, for example, you are the person who said something that other people didn't like and they started acting violently against you, you can go to court, you can go to police, you can file a report against them or whatever, and they will be dealt properly according to the law. The other thing though, what I really dislike and what I really disagree with is when people say that like, okay, like you should get, I don't know, get government agencies, government bodies riled up against you because you say something that the government doesn't like. So I don't know, for example, some protests, some political speech, political opinions in general, controversial opinions even. For example, a person is being like, I don't know, quite politically charged online, and some people want agencies or whatever to go against that person. I don't think that this is like that this should be happening. And in general, I think that the idea that the saying is spreading that like freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences from consequences. I don't think that the idea behind that slogan, behind that sentence is a good one, because by that same reasoning, everywhere we have freedom of speech. You have freedom of speech in Russia, where I live. You have freedom of speech in China, in Korea, North Korea, of course, in Iran, in Iraq, or whatever. Like in all of this, to be honest, authoritarian regimes, you have freedom of speech. You're free to say whatever you want to say. The problem is that the government will come after you and put you in jail, torture you, kill you. But like you're like physically, you are free to say whatever you want. but you are not free from the consequences. And to the people who tend to say that, to the people who tend to resort to that idea of freedom of speech not giving you freedom from consequences, I want to say that please consider what you're saying, because once again it's such a dangerous idea, because the more people support this idea, the more the people give, how to say, the credence to the government, or the more they like allowing the government to actually pick up this idea and be like, yeah, of course we can throw you into jail for some speech that we don't like, because freedom of speech does not guarantee you freedom from consequences. I'm sorry, of or from, like, to me, off topic, but like, yeah, it's a little bit tricky to get. And no, I believe that at least the Americans fought against the British for the freedom of speech exactly because they wanted to be able to say whatever the fuck they wanted, whenever and wherever the fuck they wanted, free of consequences. Because otherwise they could have stayed in Britain and said whatever they wanted and get jailed by the crown or whatever. Like, I don't really know how it went. But no, they wanted to be able to criticize the church, the government, the king, the queen, whatever, to say any shit, whatever, to anyone and about anyone. And once again, if there would be like some interpersonal, how to say, like differences and difficulties, that would be one thing. But the government and the police and the whatever agencies and government bodies should not be able to jail or persecute anyone for their speech, be it like far left or far right, be it like, I don't know, radical centrism, if that's a thing, or whatever. You should be able to say whatever you think you want to say. You should be able to spread whatever ideas you think worth spreading. And speech should be not censored in any way. And I know it firsthand, once again, living in Russia. Yes, I do have freedom of speech. I can go out and protest against whatever is going on in the Ukraine. I cannot, like, okay, I can't even say it here, to be honest, because like we in Russia lately, for this like past half a year that this has been going on with the Ukraine, this debacle, dare I say, we had people reporting other people for anti-Russian speech, to put it simply. And people have been jailed, people have been fined really heavily, up to like 50,000 rubles, 40,000 rubles, which if you convert it into dollars, it's not a lot. But it's a lot in Russia, where, for example, my mom, who's living in a small town, is making like 20,000 rubles a month. And many people make like 30,000 rubles a month. So 40,000 rubles fine, it's like more than your monthly salary. And like, you know, it's difficult for people because like people don't have in Russia like a lot of savings, and whatever savings they have, they don't want to spend on fines for saying that like war is bad. And like sometimes in Russia you can get jailed or sentenced or get a case opened up against you for not saying anything. People like experimented. People just I think it was spring, maybe April or whatever, people came out to the like squares and like the like centers of the cities with blank pieces of paper, and still got jailed for being against Russia and against the Russian actions in the Ukraine. So living here in Russia, I really do understand the importance of having actual freedom of speech, where you shouldn't get any consequences for your speech. Okay, once again, it's okay to get into confrontations with people, and okay, like, you dislike my position, you don't want my position to be heard. That's okay, let's talk about it. But when you dislike my position, you go to the police, or like you ask the government to step up, and the government actually agrees with you and says, yeah, you should have consequences for your speech. Like, it's bad, because like, yes, today you will silence me or other people, tomorrow you will be silenced. Tomorrow, like, the overtone window will get so narrow that your speech will be deemed like worthy of consequences. Let's just put it that way. And please, people in the West, I would like to ask you, just value more the freedom that you have. I don't need you to do anything. I don't need you to bow down and whatever. Like, don't put any blame on yourself. But please value what you have and don't reject it. Don't try to change it. Just value it, save it, keep it for the people of the world, because people here in Russia, people in Belarus, people in China, people in, I don't know, some other states, they need your ideas of freedom of speech, and they need them to be saved intact as they were proposed originally, where you talk whatever you want and the government does not go against you. Because if you will change it, and if you will introduce this idea that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences to the government apparatus, that it will be accepted in the society and then accepted by your governments, then there is no saving for us. There is no saving for us, because our government will then be like, well, you see, they say in this highly developed West that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. So now, off to good luck with you. You spoke, and here's your consequences. So, like, that's my video. Those are my thoughts on the topic, and like, to sum it up, I do believe that freedom of speech should be total. You should be able to speak whatever ideas, whatever thoughts you have. If someone personally have a problem with you, they can just discuss it with you, and you should be able to deal with it on like interpersonal level. But the government should never be able to go against you for whatever speech you have, whatever ideas you have. I think it's one step to authoritarianism or even totalitarianism, and it should not be accepted by the Western societies as a viable idea, and I urge you not to accept it. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here with me today for this like 13 minutes. 13-ish, it will be soon 13 minutes. If you agree with me or if you disagree with me, that's okay. Please leave your comments below. Let's talk about it, let's discuss it. Just as I propose between us individuals, I really want to discuss this topic and I really want to know your opinions, because to me this topic, especially living now in Russia, it's a very important topic. It's a very vital even topic, because you know, Russia always had problems with that, starting from Tsarist era and imperial times, especially in the Soviet times, and even now today, especially now today even, maybe. So yeah, let's discuss it, let's talk about it, let's share our opinions. And if you like my videos, this video and other videos, because I do tarot readings also, subscribe, watch my videos, leave your opinions, leave your requests, like who do you want me to make a reading on, what topics do you want me to talk about, maybe you want me to talk about like living in Russia, maybe you want to ask me whatever questions. I will be so very glad to talk to you and to communicate with you, and thank you so much for being with me today. Bye!